Hello viewers, I hope you are fine and well on these beautiful summer days. Well, at least here in the UK it's nice. This is Mark here, and today I have for you a very good NU battle against alexred. Now, looking at my opponent's team, he has got a very strong NU team. These Pokemon are the equivalent of the OU of NU, if you like. I mean, they see pretty much the most usage out of all the Pokemon in NU. I mean, he's got things like Choice Scarf, Electabuzz, Life Orb, Samurott, Toxic Boost, Zangoose, possibly Choice Specs, Charizard, maybe an offensive Torterra. So it's really packing a lot of firepower on his team. After looking at his team in the team preview, I then looked at my team, and I realised I was going to need a lot of inspiration here. So I sought guidance from my PU spiritual leader, Watchdon, and this is what he said.
Remember, tiers don't illustrate the potential of certain Pokemon, but how often are they used by players?
So with my spirits once again up, let's go over the potential in my team. I've got a Choice Scarf Golduck, Sub-Punching, Snatching Wigglytuff, Defensive Natu, Life Orb, Agility Sweeper Parasect, Focus Sash, Custom Set Railu, which you'll see do a lot of work in this battle, and a specially defensive Solrock. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the battle and see if potential can triumph. So I lead with Golduck here, he leads with Electabuzz. Now even though I'm Choice Scarfed, this is a terrible matchup for me. I have to switch out because I'm going to need Golduck later on in the match to deal with potentially the Torterra, the Altaria, and even the Charizard. So I have to switch out, go into my specially defensive Solrock, which I know can take any single hit from a Electabuzz, even if it's Choice Specs. And he goes for the Volt Switch here, and he reveals it's actually Electric Gem, which is very strange. You don't really often see that on Electabuzz, because 90% of the time Electabuzzes are going to be Choice Scarfed. Very occasionally you might see a Violite one, but they're usually Choice Scarfed, as he just Volt Switches out into Samurott. And again, this is another bad matchup for me. I was actually thinking at the time, should I stay in and go for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting the Swords Dance, but I couldn't risk it. I had to switch out here, make the really obvious play and go into Parasect to take the water move, because I am immune to it with the dry skin ability, as he makes the better play and goes to the Swords Dance. Now unfortunately this means I have to sack Paul the Parasect, who's not going to do any work this game unfortunately. He is pretty good as a sweeper, but not this time. I have to sack it so I can get a free switch into Railu, which is now my only real check to the Samurott, as it has the Focus Sash, it will definitely be living one hit, and I can hopefully just bring it down to a range where either Golduck can come in and revenge kill it, or even just take it straight out. So he goes to the Waterfall here, and that is easily going to take me down to the Focus Sash. I mean, that is probably an Adamant Life Orb plus 2 Samurott, which is just raw power. But what this does now is it means that my reversal is actually full power. So I can just go for the reversal here, and that will clean take our Samurott from this range. Now, for those of you who don't know, Railu gets the Prankster ability from the Dream World, and what this does is it increases the priority of any non-attacking move by +1. So moves such as, say, Swords Dance become a priority move instead of just a regular move based on speed. Now what this means is I can go for the Copycat, which is a non-attacking move, and just copy that reversal, which is now giving me a +1 priority reversal. And this is great news because Electabuzz doesn't ever carry priority moves, which just means I can clean take out Electabuzz as well. So Railu now taking out 2 huge threats on his team as he brings in the Charizard. I'm not going to bother switching out here, I'm just going to go for another reversal, see how much it does. And this is about 60% on a resisted hit to a Charizard, and that is just insane how good Railu actually is. My other moves are Swords Dance and Bullet Punch. Usually what I do is I'll try and lead with Railu and just go for the Swords Dance and then try and get this reversal Copycat sweep going. Honestly, it can sweep so many teams, it's so good. But he just goes for the Air Slash here and takes me out. Now I know that he's probably going to be locked into that Air Slash, so I can just safely go into Solrock, and I can proceed to get up my Stealth Rocks, which means that Charizard will die on the switch in when he comes back in. Unfortunately though, he goes into Zangoose, which I don't think I can live a close combat from here. So I switch out into Natu, hoping that he'll go for close combat just to drop his defense and special defense, just so that Golduck can come in and hopefully take it out just a little bit easier with either an Ice Beam or maybe a Surf or something like that. But he does make the really good play here. He goes for the Facade on my switch, which is going to clean take out Natu. Even though it is defensive, max defense, max HP, it doesn't really matter. That's a stab. Double power Facade from a Zangoose, which is just very powerful. And crit didn't really matter there at all, so I go back into Solrock. I think maybe I can live a hit, maybe, and he goes for the close combat, and it's going down, it's going down, it's going down, and I live the hit, and his defenses go down, which just means now that I can go for the Rock Slide, bring him down just a little bit more, and Solrock putting in some really good work this game. He's walled Electabuzz and Charizard, and he's managed to get just that little bit of extra damage here on the Zangoose. It goes down as a hero's death, but that's not a problem, as Golduck does not like to see his fallen comrades avenged punched without any kind of reward or glory. So Golduck comes in here, he's on the tiniest sliver of health left, that Zangoose, he's going down no matter what happens here, and I can just proceed to go for the Ice Beam. His remaining Pokemon are Altaria and the Torterra, which are both quad weak to Ice moves, which is pretty bad for a defensive core. I mean, it's very, very susceptible to perhaps Choice Scarfers who can just outspeed them, such as Golduck here. He goes for the Quick Attack there, and that does an awful lot of damage, almost 50% just for a very, like, I think it's 40 base power move. His Charizard comes in, it dives to the Stealth Rocks, and that will be the game. So that was a really, really good game, Alex Red. I really was not expecting it from the team preview. I thought I was going to get rolled over in this match, but as I've shown here, it is not necessarily the usage and the sheer kind of power of the Pokemon, it's more about the potential of the Pokemon that you're using yourself. So hopefully you all enjoyed that, and with that being said, I will see you all next time. Thank you, goodbye.